You put you put them in a container of water, and they swell up. They absorb the water, and then you're supposed to mix it in with your potting soil to help hold the water for your plants. So we're going to see how this works. I just hope they don't come out of the top of the bowl because I didn't know how big they were going to get. But they barely, I mean, they covered the bottom of the bowl when I first started, and I added water. And you can see they're already 3/4 of the way up that bowl. So we'll see what happens. But we wanted, and I'm still working on my little vent. I let it cure overnight with that E6000 on it. So I haven't done that yet, but I will. But I wanted to give you a garden update. I still haven't done all of the pots and totes yet. But I did these here. Now, I haven't planted anything in these yet. I just put a little bit of that soil in it. And I'm going to work it in. I'll mix it up in what's already there when I get ready to plant. I'm not going to leave that just sitting in the top. But I've got it there when I need it. Just like here. You know, I'm not planting in there yet. I added some to the peppermint, to my mandevilla plant there. I added some to the can't remember, clematis. There was like 3 different flower names were coming to my mind, and each one of them wanted to come out at the same time. I added some of that dirt to my hollyhocks, hoping they survived. You know, the roots will, and they'll come back up for this year. We'll see what happens. But the main thing I wanted to show you, I did add some to my rose bushes out here. And look at there, that's the rose bush we rooted last year. That's, I think that there was only 2 of them that survived out here. And that was the one of them. But it's looking good. It's putting out a bunch of leaves. There's my white rose, or yellow rose of Texas. And there's one that I've put down to try to root. We'll see what happens with that. I put dirt all out in here in this rock garden. And it's full of flower bulbs, like daylilies. I even had tulips out here. All kind of things. But I wanted to show you the addition. Remember here a while back, one of my subscribers sent me this because it looked like Little Buddy. Well, there's Little Buddy garden stake in my front yard, in my rock garden, in the corner, on his motorcycle, with the little mouse right there. I think it's the cutest thing. So I got him on one side, and then there's a, I guess it's supposed to be a swan or something over here on the other side that I've had for a while. And of course my bird bath. I can't wait till all these flowers come up in here. They didn't do good last year because it was so dry and hot. They just struggled, so they weren't pretty at all. But that summer, right after the week-long snowstorm we had, oh my God, this rock garden was beautiful. I think every single one of those bulbs came up. Everything bloomed. Even the mums came up and bloomed. And I hope it does that again this year. And there's my little man. Can't see his little lantern because of the bird. Let's see if we can move the bird somewhere else. Move the bird here on this side. There. Now you can see his lantern. Because his lantern is solar. And it lights up at night. Just like all these other little solar lights I've got around. And I put some of that good soil here. And I put some up there. You can see the daylilies are coming up. See that green sprout? That's a daylily. The daffodils, they're already up, but they're not blooming yet. And all of them are not up. I don't know if all of them survived or not. But there's a few of them. And I got to get my aloe vera put back out on the patio. And see, I've still got to put some of that topsoil here. Or not topsoil, it's garden soil. I need to put some on all these wildflowers so they'll look really pretty this summer. I put some of it to all of my crepe myrtle trees. Right there. And I went ahead and planted hollyhocks in that pot right there. Because they get so big, I figured it would look good to fill that pot full of hollyhocks. And hopefully they'll come back every year. Because the rose bush I had there just died for some reason. I don't know why. But it died, so I pulled it out. I've been using that fire cider, and I think it's been working. I mean, it's not going to work overnight. See the mums there? They're coming up. Got that little sunflower stake right there. And I wanted to check on my rose cuttings that we put out here. I don't know if they're going to make it or not, but I got them there. They may need more water. I got one there. It looks like it's trying to grow. Put out some leaves, maybe. We'll see. And this one here, you know, this is just an experiment. I saw a guy on, I heard he said he just puts his down in the ground, does the cuttings, and puts quite a bit of it in the dirt, almost as much in the ground as he's got above the ground. And his always roots, but of course he lives in a wetter climate than we have. But this time of year, you know, our ground is going to be as wet or damp as it's going to be all year probably, because we get more rain. So I said, if they're going to root, they'll root right now. So I'm trying. And then I got more in the greenhouse. And I got to add water to these. These pots get dried out pretty quick. But I put seeds in there, and I've got the moonflowers that'll come back up. And you can see I've covered this with the garden soil because it's full of moonflowers. Hopefully they will all come back up this year. I'm checking the rest of these. Yeah, they're trying to grow. I don't know if they're going to root or not, but they're putting out little shoots, so we'll see. And I got one here. I don't know if it'll make it or not. And remember, I couldn't dig a hole deep enough. That's why the rose bush died there. So I didn't plant anything there. I'm going to move those rocks. Use my rocks for something else. But I did put one here. So I'm hoping it'll survive. I don't know if it will or not. But time will tell. And see, I haven't gotten any garden soil to this crepe myrtle yet. But I will. It just takes some time. And some of these are trying to come back up that were planted last year. They need water, probably more water right now. And there's some of my greens that survived all winter. Coming, you know, still living in that pot. I'm just hoping we don't get any more freezing temperatures that it kills it completely. I put garden soil in these pots in the rose bush. And like I said, this big one is full of moonflowers. This one I'll probably put a tomato plant in this year. I've got perpetual spinach planted here in these pots already. So we'll see what happens with that. And I did put that rose bush cutting in the pot with my peppermint just to see what's going to happen with it. And there's my seed trays that I planted the other day. Of course, they haven't had time to come up. They've not been warm enough to sprout yet. But I've got bok choy, Chinese cabbage, red Russian kale, rutabaga, and I've got romaine lettuce down here on the bottom. I'm hoping it will come up. I'm not trying to force it, just let it come up when it wants. And I've got perpetual spinach in this pot. Of course, my rose cuttings are here. Perpetual spinach in that pot, perpetual spinach there. My peppermint's in there that'll come up, and then I got greens that survived all winter right there. It's survived till now. I don't know, if it'll survive right on, but... And, of course, my rose bushes and my bearded iris. And that rose bush just is not... I don't think there's any hope for it unless there is a root way down below that's alive that'll send out a shoot. That's the only way it'll survive. And see, these rose bushes are all putting out... All those red-looking leaves, that's new growth. And here's some that we put down, the cuttings. And this is the rose bush that survived from last year that we put out here. I got one here. And I went ahead and stuck 3 cuttings down here. There's one there, and one here. And they look like they are trying to survive. They're trying to grow. Look, they got these little shoots trying to come out on them. But we'll have to just wait and see what happens. I have not planted anything in these yet. I've got perpetual spinach in some of this that's kind of covered up in the white buckets. We'll see if it comes up. I mean, if it survived the freeze, it's going to come right up through the dirt. I put some out here to my walking onions. And, I got to get more out here to this little swimming pool that I use as a grow pot. I got to get some put there. And look at here. Look at my transplants. Those are my greens. They're looking good. And we composted in place here. We put wood bark, broken down wood bark. We put cardboard. We put all kind of stuff. We put table scraps. Anything that does not attract ants, you can put in there and plant in right away. If it's table scraps that's going to attract ants, go ahead and build your tote, but leave it sitting out somewhere away from your growing plants and give it time for the ants to get to it and for the food scraps to break down a little bit before you try to plant in there. And see, we planted golden Detroit beets in this one. And it'll take a while for them to come up. All my bags are not planted yet. I think I'm going to put tomato plants in them. This has got yellow beets, and they're the kind that don't bleed. I can't wait for them to come up. I've never planted yellow beets before. But see, I've got my transplants here. These are all that I pulled out of the bag that was in the ground right back there. They survived through the winter. And they survived the 2-night freeze we had last night and the night before. And I think they're going to do good in these totes. And there's some more of them here. It looks dry on top, but if you can move this top dirt over, and it's wet down in there. And this is parsnips. When they come up, they're not come up yet. But yeah, I had somebody question me using the little logs for little stands to put under my totes. But the thing of these are cedar. they repel bugs, repel ants. The ants don't want to bother them. And I'm going to be putting my black buckets or pots like this to catch the water. So the ground is not going to get wet, hopefully. And this one's busted in the bottom. So I'm going to use it as a planting pot. Wind kind of blew it away. And I've got all kind of pots here that I can use to plant in as soon as I get stuff started in the greenhouse. Yeah, I just wanted to let you see what's going on here. And remember, we planted potatoes here. I think it's a little early for them to be coming up. And there's some more of my greens that survived through the winter. Those plants have been in that little pot all winter long. And there's my onions, garlic. I got potatoes here and potatoes here when they come up. They've just not appeared above the dirt yet, that's okay. They got time. I put some dirt in here, and I think I'm going to plant my banana trees in these two white pots. I'll have to mix up the dirt that's in them. Put some good compost down in there. And I think that's where I'm going to put my banana trees. I got 2 banana trees, but it's too early to put them outside. And there's kohlrabi. I don't think I've ever planted kohlrabi before and had it do anything. So I'm anxious to see if that will this year. And here's some of these plants that survived the winter. I need to separate some of them. One of them needs to be over there. My onions and my garlic. Onions. I've not planted in that yet. In fact, I may put a banana tree here and put one on the other side. Because I don't know if I want to put them right close together. But like I said, it's not time to plant them, so I've got plenty of time to figure it out. Well, the gas man delivered my gas a little while ago. Well, he didn't put anything in there. Usually they leave a bill under the lid. Now, I don't think he put one on my door. No. But see the rose bushes back here? They're all growing. And these pots, I put dirt in them. There's nothing planted in them yet, but I will. And my clematis will be coming back up again here. So I went ahead and put some garden soil in the top of each one of them. There's little Buddy. He likes to do garden tours. He does. He loves to do garden tours. He loves to walk around. He loves to be on camera. Yes, he does. He loves to be on camera. But I still haven't gotten to these totes yet. Which I've got chives growing there. Chives in there with the wild stuff coming up. Onions. And see, I just have not put any dirt in these yet, which I've got to do. I've got to rework my green stalk tower. That's going to be a job one day that I'll bring you right along with me. And let's go in the greenhouse. But see, nothing survived in my trays. They grew, it got too hot on them. Some of them died because it got too hot. Some of them died because it got too cold these freezing nights. And this tray of stuff never did come up yet. So it might have more of a chance of surviving. I don't know. And then I got rose cuttings down there. And I've got, I think it's eggplant planted in those little square ones back there. And I got to get my other clear totes out of the shed so I can plant seeds. And I'm going to do more of my little terrariums. Look at this. This is nothing but a big Coke bottle or Pepsi bottle. And I planted my Swiss chard seed in there the same time I put the seeds in those seed trays. Guess what? My Swiss chard came up and it's looking pretty. Now, this is the way I always plant mine. I always cover it with a little bottle. It keeps the moisture in. The top is off so the heat can expand, come out to keep them from getting too hot. Now, as they get bigger, I can take the top off and not have to keep them covered. But see, I've got plenty of cups. Plenty of cups. Plus, I've got all of these that was sent to me by the subscriber. I've got my sunflower seeds still here. I've got marigold seeds in there. But yeah, I've got plenty of little pots. Plenty of little pots in there that I can plant seeds in. I've just got to get busy. We may do that tomorrow. May do it tomorrow. It was 70 degrees today. Wasn't it, little buddy? He said, I loved it today. It was nice outside. Yes, it was. But see, I still got some of these. I can leave this one here because it's just one plant. But I got to get out here and get busy and pull some of these out. There's too many in here. Yeah, I got to get more of that garden soil here and mix it in. I got peppermint in those little pots right there. It's coming back out. Haven't got anything in these other ones yet. So I got to get busy. Don't have anything in these. Look at my walking onions, my Egyptian walking onions. Aren't they pretty? We planted those last fall. At the end of the summer when my Egyptian walking onions put out little bulbs. And there's my pot of peppermint there coming out. I got to get dirt in my little cinder blocks. There's walking onions coming up everywhere. I forgot to uncover my tree collard today. But look at that. It's living. And that one's kind of iffy. It's got a little green on it still. I don't know about these other ones. But I'm going to cover it back up for tonight. If I can just keep one of them alive. Or keep the stalk alive, what's down in the dirt. It'll put out a new plant. But if I keep one tree collard alive, it'll grow. And I can break pieces off of it to start new plants. And there's one down in here. You can see the leaf down in there that it's living. Come up with those, it's growing in those onions or chives. So we'll see. I don't need 9 or 10 of them anyway. If I can keep 1 or 2 alive, like I said, to grow, to where I can get cuttings off of it, I can start more this summer. But I did get dirt in those dish pans. And like I said, I'll mix it all up when I go to plant in it. The thing of it is just getting the dirt around here and getting it put in the pots and totes. My Egyptian walking onions. We planted those last summer. And see how my compost bin is dropping? And I'm just going to let it drop. And I've got this full. It is so full, it's getting so heavy, it's starting to bow in the middle. Look at that. I don't know. It may not last a whole lot longer. But all of these, they're ready to, I mean, you know, I just got to put some more garden soil in there, mix it up with the wood chips that are in there, and plant in it. Because that's all compost and broken down stuff from last year that I put in there, which is going to be fantastic to plant in this year. There as well. And this one, and this one. And there's my Egyptian walking onions. And there's that pot with the dead rose bush that I've got to get out of here. I've just got to take one day, pull that out of here, clean it up, get all this wildflowers growing in it, but I don't want them in there. I want to be able to grow a squash or something that I want in there. Not a dead rose bush and not wildflowers. And that parsley right there, it's trying to survive. I don't know. Usually we have enough freezing temperatures that it kills everything in the yard. And then when everything is dead, it'll warm up and everything starts growing. Just so I have to replant everything. But yeah, we will, see, I put all the soil here because, you know, I did a video on that the other day. I got a little plant there that's surviving. Got one there. And I got these ready to put. I may put tomatoes in there. I don't know yet. I got the tomato cage there. So we'll see. Yeah, I don't know why the guy didn't leave a bill. Usually they leave a bill in under that top on the gas. You know, that little dome on top of the gas tank. I don't know, maybe they're just not doing that anymore. Maybe they just wait till I get back to the office and turn it in and the office will bill me. But that's the garden for so far, y'all. Look at little buddy. He's walking right with me. Got to pretty soon get the mower out and cut some of these weeds. Look at that. Freeze is not going to hurt the grass and the weeds, that's for sure. Can't wait for my clematis to come up. And see, this is the clematis that blooms on the old growth. That's why if you're trying to grow clematis, don't ever break your vines down. Don't think because it died down like it is right here. Don't think you've got to pull all that vine down and get rid of it because it's dead. It's not. It looks dead. You'll get more plants coming up from the roots. But look, see there? There's the green coming back out on that dead vine. It's not a dead vine. It looks dead, but it's not. See right there? All up this vine, there is new growth. See right there? Right here? It doesn't show up too good the way I'm showing it, but that's green right there. That is green. And see the leaves here? All of those leaves are coming out on what looks like a dead vine, but it's not dead. You don't ever want to cut your clematis down. And there's my walking onions there. Egyptian walking onions. Now, granted, there is some clematis that you get that you can cut down. And it will only grow from the roots coming back. But fortunately, the clematis that I've got comes back on the old growth. So I don't ever want to pull or cut that vine down. And it will provide a trellis for the vines that are coming out like here. Like right there. You know, that's going to be vines. It'll give that new vine a place to climb. It'll climb up on the other vine. So you don't ever want to cut them down unless you know for sure that it is the kind that dies back. You can cut it off and it comes up from the roots. I'm hoping this Mandeville will bloom this year. I have not seen it bloom yet. I don't know if it's been too hot on it or what the deal is, but I've not seen it bloom. And the ones in the nurseries, you know, I see they bloom and they're so pretty. They got such a pretty, like, shocking pink flower on them. And I'm pulling these inside the little cage so they'll grow up and not out on the ground. I give it stuff to grow on. I don't want it to grow on the ground. I want it to go up like that is right there. So, y'all, I guess that is my garden tour for this time. So peace and love be with you, and I'll see y'all on my next one. Bye now.